What is up, everyone? Crunchy Frog here, and today we are going to go over everything that is launching with Season 3 Reloaded, which actually released today on May the 1st. So we'll kind of go over everything listed in the patch notes. As always with videos like this, I will include the link to the full blog post in the description below so that you can kind of check it out at your own speed, at your own pace there, and look over everything in exact detail, especially something like this where the vast majority of information is individual bug fixes and weapon nerfs and weapon buffs, etc., that I'm just simply not going to cover in extreme detail here. So we'll go over all the big points, kind of talk about everything, and then at the end of the video, make sure to stay through to the end. We will discuss some leaks that happened in regards to that new Call of Duty 2024 reveal that they teased with the Xbox kind of press conference. Some more details came out, including something that was found in-game that may point towards the official title and different things like that. So once again, stay tuned to the end of the video for that. As always, guys, if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit the like button. It helps others find the channel and helps us grow. And if you would like to see more content like this, I do a whole bunch of Call of Duty news as well as various gaming commentaries and reviews. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you around. And finally, if you would like to support the channel monetarily, make sure to hit that join button. And as always, you know, everything is appreciated. Any support that you can give is appreciated here. And I love all you guys. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So the first major thing that you know, these little reloaded updates, these midway updates for each season give is typically, you know, more maps, right? So that's the first thing that they go into detail on the blog post. And the first map we get is Grime, which is a 6v6 map, and all it says is take to the derelict streets of London in an all-new medium-sized map that supports all varieties of gameplay. So not too much. Obviously, they didn't even include a, you know, picture in the blog post. I know there's some pictures floating around. Usually I like to put those on screen for you guys, but they straight up did not give any in this blog post for some reason, so I apologize about that. And then obviously the next one is another 6v6 map, which is Checkpoint. And the description says, deploy to a familiar locale as the stronghold portion of Rebirth Island has been modified to support 6v6 multiplayer gameplay, developed in partnership with our friends at Beanox. So this is you know, another little portion of a Warzone map that they cut off and kind of reworked the geometry ever so slightly to make it work for 6v6. We saw that I want to say the beginning of Season 3, or maybe it was Season 2. I'm losing track of time at this point. With Tanked, which is the like zoo/aquarium portion of the Vondel map. This is going to be a portion of the Rebirth Island, so kind of that stronghold portion on the one end of the map. So it's not necessarily new content, so to speak, but if you're a player like me that does not touch Warzone anymore and you only play 6v6, you know, you're none the wiser. To you, it just works as a brand new 6v6 map that you get to play. And I really got to say, before we go on, how happy I am with the map offering. I've already said this in almost every update video since the game came out, but it is just absolutely incredible, the amount of content that they've given us. I've seen several tweets from content creators as well as, you know, people like Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone, you know, talk about the sheer volume of content and new maps and weapons and everything like that. Possibly is the most post-launch support that we've ever seen across any Call of Duty game, at least since the you know, the Modern Warfare era, you know, the Warzone era, as some people call it, that started back in 2019. So I want to applaud the devs, you know, Sledgehammer, everyone else who's working on this, for just absolutely knocking it out of the park with post-launch content. I know I haven't been playing as much COD recently, but I really have to tip my hat to them. I'm not playing COD because, you know, it's not doing great things, because they're really trying to keep this game going. It's more so just there's so many other games to play, and after I got the, you know, Mastery Camo, it kind of killed a lot of my, you know, desire and drive to play the game. But overall, once again, just have to give a big round of applause to the devs for giving us so much content. I mean, this is a mid-season update, and we're getting 2 6v6 maps. I think we got 3 or 4, you know, about a month ago with the beginning of Season 3. So just absolutely incredible stuff. So to keep going on, we are also getting a weapon with the mid-season update, and that is the BAL 27, which is a weapon from Advanced Warfare, which as you guys know, I didn't play, so this will be my first time really using the rifle. I know it was a big fan favorite back in Advanced Warfare, so I know a lot of people were super happy to have that in the game and now. And as is kind of the new normal, the new status quo, they are adding new aftermarket parts as well. So we are getting the Jack Wardens, which is essentially the Model 1887 mod for the Lockwood Mark II. So a lot of people have been really looking forward to this. I think we've known about this for a while, and it's finally here. You can kind of relive your glory days from 2009 and, enjoy the Model 1887. So hopefully they're not nearly as overpowered as they were back in the day, but once again you get akimbo lever action shotguns with this aftermarket part. Next up we have the Jack Patriot, which is used on the M16, and I'm going to be honest with you, I completely forgot they added the M16 to the game. Or maybe it was from Modern Warfare 2. I don't even know at this point. There's so many guns in this game. I feel like an idiot here. But hey, there's an M16 in the game still. And it got an aftermarket part. And basically this just converts it to be fully automatic. So I'm not sure what the difference is going to be between this and an M4. But that's kind of my issue with aftermarket parts in general, is a lot of them just turn that gun into another gun and kind of blurs the lines between a lot of different guns that were supposed to feel different. But that is what it is. And then finally we have the Jack Atlas kit for the AMR9, which just converts into a, quote, extremely lethal and accurate 5-round burst carbine chambered in 5.56. So it's a 5-round burst assault rifle, essentially now, which is kind of unique. But again, blurring lines is supposed to be an SMG, but now it's an assault rifle with this. Either way, it's content, it's cool stuff, it's unique stuff that they're trying to mix up the game. I applaud them for it, and really cool stuff there. Next up is the new modes. So obviously Escort is coming back. I think we talked about that on our Season 3 video about a month ago. That's kind of a mode that's been in COD and a bunch of other shooters, right? You escort, an objective around the map. Blah, blah, blah. Been there, seen that before, but pretty cool that they're bringing it back. Next up is Minefield, which I've heard great things about. I've not played it. Obviously, I haven't been able to play anything like that, but, or really anything from the season. I've been so busy today. But I've heard a lot of great things. People are enjoying it. Supposedly, skill-based matchmaking is not turned on in this playlist, so people are enjoying that aspect as well. But basically, mines spawn at the death site of players, triggered by the presence of a fallen player's team. So, once again, you deploy a mine at the feet of fallen comrade, and I think it's lethal towards that other team. So it's not lethal towards you, it's lethal towards their friends. So if you kill an enemy player and his teammate runs up from behind him, that mine's going to take him out as well. So sounds pretty cool. I'll have to give it a try here in the next couple of days. And then finally we have Arcade, and it says fight for control of weapons kitted with game-changing modifiers available for pickup around the map while not forgetting to play the objective. So that just kind of sounds like old school from back in the day, in like the COD 4 days, where you just start with basic stuff and kind of scavenge items and stuff across the map. So it sounds kind of cool. It'll be interesting to check it out. They do mention that there will be double XP. I think that's maybe this weekend. And then they also state that there will be a Call of Duty Endowment 2-week event coming down the horizon and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things that they've introduced, and that's on top of new weapons and maps and everything like this stands out arguably even further, and that is introducing weapon prestige camos. Now, if you remember, if you're a fan of the channel, if you watch a lot of my content, you'll know that a couple videos ago, I touched on things that would make Modern Warfare 3 better, and I mentioned more gun progression and or weapon prestige, and lo and behold, here we have it. Now obviously they weren't listening to me, but part of me likes to think they were. Because seems like a really great system. It works off of camos, so it's not like kill counters like we talked about from like Black Ops 2 and stuff like that, but it is a new progression system. Basically, it says, to unlock a weapon prestige camo, players must earn a set amount of weapon XP for any weapon of their choice, including those carried forward from Modern Warfare 2. Weapon prestige camos are earned on a per-weapon basis, rewarding commitment and giving those of you completionists a grind to keep you busy for seasons to come. And obviously, the first one they're debuting is One Trick. It's an animated camo. It looks really cool. There's a bunch of videos and pictures floating around the internet. And basically, it's unlocked upon earning 150,000 weapon XP. It says it coats the entire surface of your weapon in molten gold, blah, blah, blah. It's animated. Now, I asked for clarification in the replies, as did a couple other people. I didn't see them clarified just yet, so maybe they have and I just didn't see it. But I'm not sure if any weapon XP that you've gotten so far has counted. You know, like if right now I've earned, let's just throw out some arbitrary amount, like 64,000 weapon XP with the M4 or something. I don't know how that works, but does that mean I'm 64,000 out of 150,000, or does that mean like starting today my counter is at 0? I'm at 0 weapon XP. I have to earn another 150,000 to get this camo. I'm not too sure. They didn't clarify. At least I haven't seen any clarification. If you guys know the answer to that, if you've seen the developers kind of give more information on that, let me know in the comments section below. I would love to know how this is actually going to work out. And how easy it will be to get going forward. And then obviously, I don't know if they mention it here. Yes, they do. But basically, they will be releasing one mastery camo every season. So I'm assuming this is like a every 150,000 weapon XP you get a new camo, but you have to wait till the next season. Season 4 we'll get another one, season 5 and season 6, which also helps to confirm that we are in fact getting 6 seasons with the game, which is kind of par for the course. But there has been 1 or 2 games that have only had 5 seasons, stuff like that. So it is good to know that we will have the full 6 for this game before Treyarch's game comes out later this year. And once again, a little more on that in a bit. So they then go on to like all the patch notes, and I'm not going to go through all of them. A lot of it's bug fixes and fixed a glitch where this happens, blah blah blah. So that's a lot to read, and this video would be forever. So again, linked below, check it out for yourself. You can read through all of them. I'll just hit some of the big points I noticed. One of the first ones is they increase the number of allowed favorite attachments from 10 up to 30. So if you're someone who makes marks favorite attachments for use, that might help you out, especially with the large number of attachments in game. It just makes sense. Next up, they did change it so that kills without reloading challenges will no longer continue to track between matches. Now, I've talked about this in a couple videos. On the way to Mastery Camo, I noticed a lot of these type of challenges were tracking really weird. Like they wouldn't track sometimes, but then they would track too much other times, and you'd get like free, kills without reloading, stuff like that. Clearly it was tracking in between matches or carrying stuff over. That's no longer the case. So, view that how you may. Some people may think that's a bad thing. Others might be happy that the challenges are, a little more letter of the law in how they track. And, but that I just saw that, and that immediately kicked off a switch in my mind, because that's a pretty huge change and something that I saw a lot of. So next up, they go on to talk about everything that is kind of brought with zombies. So the first up is a new story mission. It says a new anomaly has appeared in the exclusion zone, and Dr. Jansen has gone through the portal alone. Operation Deadbolt strike teams must now conduct a rescue mission with Ravenov's help to get her back before it's too late. Now, I haven't been following the zombies, story or anything. To be honest, I haven't even played much zombies recently, but it is cool that they're still pumping out some new story missions for those that are still following along. And then, of course, there's a new Dark Ether Rift as well, which is kind of, the quote-unquote end game activity from what I understand for zombies. There's new acquisitions and schematics, so there's Deadwire detonators. That's a new acquisition. Golden mask filter. It says forget the constant search for a function gas mask and everything like that. Attaching the golden mask filter causes its charge to self-regenerate over time. So kind of a self-regenning gas mask, which is kind of really cool, I gotta say. And then finally, Sergeant's Beret says, with the undead roaming around, you've got enough to worry about before taking Zakhaev's mercs into consideration. Don the Sergeant's Beret to trick the faction into thinking you're one of their own. So basically, zombies blood, but for the mercs. So the AIs with guns will not shoot at you. And as a bonus, you'll gain a merc bodyguard who fearlessly follows you into action. Now, that's really cool. I would love to get that item. and everything like that, because that would totally change up a lot of the dynamics of zombies, because sometimes those mercs can be, I'm going to be honest with you, a pain in the ass. Next up, there is obviously a new warlord. They've been doing this every season, every reloaded, stuff like that. So you can take on new warlord Rainmaker. And then next up, again, just some gameplay updates. Not too much, not going to touch on too much. But they did increase the stash storage in zombies to 20 acquisitions instead of 10, which I think was sorely needed. Back when I played it, I constantly complained about that. So it's really awesome to see them up that. And then exfil-based schematic cooldown. Basically, when players successfully exfil, they now also receive schematic cooldown time in addition to their insured weapon cooldown time, just so you know how long until you can, infill with that schematic again. All right, so that about wraps it up for all of the changes in content coming in Season 3. So as promised in the beginning of the video, now I just want to touch on some leaks and some info that's coming out about Call of Duty 2024. If you don't know already, Microsoft announced their E3-esque press conference that they now have every year, and basically had teased a entire direct conference right after the Microsoft half. So, Microsoft's going to give their whole spiel, unveil games, talk about games that people already know about, stuff like that. And then afterwards, they said that there's this quote-unquote redacted, which everyone knows is Call of Duty, stuff like that. But some more stuff has come out about it since then, so I just wanted to cover that. These are all, courtesy of Charlie Intel over on Twitter. So some of this stuff is related to COD 2024, but the first thing I want to talk about is not, and that is data miners have found reference to potential Call of Duty Fallout collaboration for Season 4 of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, which, I hate collabs, I hate all those skins and stuff like that, but Fallout is one that, with all the hype right now and how much how cool Fallout is, that might be one that I'm probably still not going to buy it, but I at least think is pretty cool. So with that, now we can pivot to some of the leaks and data mining and everything for COD 2024. As you know, we're coming up on that whole reveal season. The hype's building up. We're going to find out more info on the next game, stuff like that. So data miners have found references to, quote, Season 3 Cerberus reveal in the game files after today's update. So that's pretty interesting. They give a screenshot there. Once again, shout out to Charlie Intel over on Twitter. So I don't know if that means that COD 2024 is going to be revealed during the course of Season 3. And then obviously that direct in June, which I think is after the end of Season 3. And that's going to be the more, long form, more in-depth look at COD 2024 and stuff like that. Now that brings us to our next thing, which kind of confirms the title in one way or another. So there's a Call of Duty 2024 in-game event that's scheduled, obviously referenced by those data mined points below. For Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone later this season, and completing all the challenges unlocks this blueprint. The blueprint's actually in the game. You can go in there, you can look at it. It's called Steel. It's a 1911, which, as you know, is like on the cover of every Black Ops game, stuff like that. It is inscribed with Sally on the side. Obviously, there will be a picture on screen, but it is inscribed with Sally on the side, which, again, from the covers of, all of the Black Ops games, the Pack-a-Punch 1911 were called Mustang and Sally, stuff like that. And then 6 tally marks are scratched in. Now, if you know in the past, they've kind of scratched in for each Black Ops game, which leads us to believe that the working title is going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Which, we're just running out of numbers to use at this point. We're going to be up to Black Ops 24 in no time. But, essentially everyone thought it was going to be called Black Ops Gulf War, I believe was the working title that everyone assumed. But now it's looking like it might be Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And we might get to later, I might flash a picture up on screen as well, where if you look at, they redacted just enough for you to not really know what's there. But if you piece together all the things, you can tell that it says Black Ops behind it. And then you couldn't tell what was after the Black Ops portion. But now with this blueprint that clearly says Black Ops 6, it's probably going to be called Black Ops 6, if I'm to be completely honest, unless there's a subtitle as well. And then they go on to confirm as well stuff like the STG and the Car 98 and different things like that are coming to the game as well. But yeah, here I'll flash up on screen right now the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 logo. If you look really closely, they probably intentionally, didn't highlight everything, just enough so that you could work out what it says beneath if you're really smart about it. And obviously the picture of Cerberus, which is used a lot in the Treyarch games, and then, harkens back to those files that were found I mentioned a couple minutes ago. So yeah, it's looking like Black Ops 6 is the new game that's coming out. We know nothing about it, obviously, still, but it looks like we might know a title, and it looks like the official reveal may be coming within Season 3, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Season 3 ends in the beginning of June, so we're looking at about, within a month, we should at the very least know hard, concrete, proven, confirmed evidence of what this year's Call of Duty will be. Its title, maybe some general stuff about its theme, stuff like that. And then obviously this Direct, which is immediately following the Xbox Games Showcase, will go into more detail. Now that Activision's bought out by Xbox, they get to kind of share the spotlight there during Xbox's time slot and conference. And I think that one is in middle of June, somewhere like that. Right along where E3 would have been. Obviously, every studio just kind of does their own thing now since E3 died. But yeah, so it's pretty cool information, and obviously really cool stuff coming with Season 3 Reloaded. Usually these Reloadeds are just very small updates, but this one came with a lot of content, and once again, just hats off to the developers for putting out an absolute wealth of content for us here in Modern Warfare 3. So that about wraps it up, guys. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of all this content, and let me know if you're hype for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coming later this year, scheduled for, that late October, early November release window. And is this something that you think you'll buy, or are you holding off till you get more information in later on in June? So yeah, other than that, guys, once again, if you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.